Lie on that fucking resume, okay? If you know how to upsell, your tips will be better. Y'all are like, eat their ass. When I say eat their ass, I mean like be so fucking nice that they can't write not one negative review about you. Some of y'all black people be acting a damn fool in the restaurant and it be pissing me off because I know I'm not gonna get a fucking tip off of you.
No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. No such thing, no such thing.
Jumbo everyone, welcome back, and in today's video I'm gonna be teaching y'all and giving y'all some tips on how to get hired anywhere as a server. More specifically, these are my top 10 tips. If y'all want, I can always make a part 2 to this video, but this is coming from someone who has worked in very high volume restaurants on top of semi-fine dining. I recently did just get a new job that's even higher up than where I'm working at right now. If you didn't know, I work at Cheesecake Factory, but I put in my 2 weeks, so next Sunday is my last day. Very sad. I've been there for almost 3 years and I can genuinely say that I learned so much about the restaurant industry just from working at Cheesecake Factory alone. Cheesecake Factory was my first serving job. Actually, that's a lie. Take it all the way back. Denny's was actually my first serving job, but I didn't work there long enough to really get the experience or even just make the money. So I'm gonna be talking about my Cheesecake Factory experience just because that is a Fortune 100 company. I've been there for almost 3 years, and especially with me getting a new job and a little bit higher fine dining in a sense, I feel like I can tell my tips and give y'all secrets in order to get hired anywhere. All right. So without further ado, let's get started. So I just came back from my training. I have my training Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I know you can see the tiredness on my face, y'all. I'm fucking tired, okay? But I'm trying to film a video, then go to the gym, come back, edit all in one day. I might not even do nothing crazy at the gym, but we're still gonna get it done. Okay, I wrote this while I was at my other job, bottle service, because we're not allowed to be on our phone. So I was like, let me plan my YouTube video real quick so y'all can see. So I have all of my, this is literally, y'all, I literally wrote it. Like, I was so bored. I wrote it on the receipt paper. So this is my script for today. And yeah, we're gonna be going through 10 top tips basically to get hired anywhere as a server. My title is Best Serving Tips to Get Hired Anywhere. I have also, been making $250 to $300 plus a night serving, especially on Friday and Saturdays. And I guess you can kind of count Cheesecake Factory fine dining, but like not really. It's like a step right before fine dining. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but I genuinely feel like in a way I'm too good for Cheesecake Factory. Hear me out. The only reason why I say that is because I genuinely feel like I am such a good server. I say that because at least once every single time that I'm working, one of my tables will be like, you have been the best server that we have ever had. And that is my goal. I don't have it on here yet and we haven't gotten to even number 1. We're just gonna say this is pre-number 1. My number 1 tip that I can give to anyone, if you don't take any advice, take this one tip, okay? My number 1 tip is to treat every single guest like they are a Yelp reviewer. And why do I say that? Because if somebody is a Yelp reviewer and they're like top rated and all that stuff, and they go and mention your name in the reviews, like Reese was our server, she was so amazing, she did this, this, and this, make sure you request her. That is like setting yourself up for the future. The reason why I say treat everyone like a Yelp reviewer is even when it comes to, their complaints, their things that they didn't like or whatever. At the end of the day, if somebody didn't like the food, the drinks, whatever, you're not gonna complain about my service. That's all I gotta say. You are not gonna complain about my service. You can complain about everything else, but then at the end of the meal, you can be like, we didn't really have a good time here, but your service made up for every mishap that happened. So there you go. And that is how you will still get tipped. You need to treat these people like they're going to tip you 22% until they don't. So that's why you'll basically see me eating everyone's ass when it comes to serving and smiling and going in my customer service voice. And of course, no problem. Like, I be doing that because I want to make fucking money. And that's also how I make fucking money. There have been times when my coworkers are like, bro, I barely even broke 200. Mind you, I'm sitting over here with 350 after tip out. So I'm trying to give you these tips so you can make the most money at any serving job. And so like I said, without further ado, let's get started. So my number 1 tip, y'all are gonna be like, Reese, what? So my number 1 tip, this is going for anyone who has never been in the service industry, never served a day in their life, never done anything like that, right? Lie on that fucking resume, okay? Cheesecake Factory, don't kill me when you see this, but I lied on my Cheesecake Factory resume. I put on a restaurant that closed down because how are you gonna call the restaurant if they're closed down? So basically, So basically I lied and I said that I worked at Perkins for 9 months because every single serving job that I was applying to was like, no, we want you to be a host. We want you to be a host for a little bit. How the fuck does me being a host make me a better server? It doesn't. So therefore I lied. I said, yes, I've been a server before. 9 months at a Perkins that closed down. How are you gonna go double check? Exactly. So they were like, oh, so like what is something that you enjoy with working at Perkins? Oh, I really love making connections with the regulars and having regulars and making the experience such a good experience for people to want to come back. Boom. Then they're like, what is something that you don't like about working in a restaurant? Da-da-da. I was like, I think sometimes like the miscommunication that can happen between the managers or the customers or even, you know, the managers and me, and how I don't like it when people don't communicate. If my food's gonna take an extra 5 minutes, please let me know. If there's something wrong with the food, if the food has to be held, let me know, because that affects my tip in the end, and that also determines how many times I'm gonna go back and check on that table because they don't have their food. So, like I said, lie on your resume. Why? Because the job is going to train you anyways. Let's be real. A lot of places, especially kind of like higher up in a sense, they will have serving classes, which is essentially they let you eat all the food. They talk about the restaurant. They talk about like what they expect from you. So a lot of the times, if it's not like a dive bar or somewhere where you don't really need serving experience, if you want to go up into that more like upper echelon, I don't even know if that's the right terminology, but if you want to like go up there in terms of your service, you're gonna have to lie on your resume, Buki, because at the end of the day, they are going to train you regardless. When I say I never worked in a restaurant before, like high volume, you know what I mean? I was like, how can I make this money? Lie. So that is my number one tip. Lie. I'm not starting off as a host. I'm not starting off as anything else. You will be hiring me as a server. Thank you very much. All right, my tip number 2 is to try to actually learn stuff on the menu. When you know what you're talking about, that gives you a better tip. So take example for me. I work at Cheesecake Factory. There are over 250 menu items. I damn near have all of them memorized at this point, except like a couple of the liquors and stuff. But other than that, all the food items, I know probably every single thing that's in it. This also goes along when it comes to tour guiding your table. So typically my greet, I'm gonna show y'all my Cheesecake Factory greet, okay? Okay. Hello, how are we doing today? Good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. I'm Reese. I'm gonna be taking care of y'all today. Have you ever been here at the Cheesecake Factory before? If they say no, then I'll be like, perfect. I love this. Just letting you know, we do have a very extensive menu. There's 21 pages, 250 menu items. It can be a lot. If you're more of a visual person, I always recommend the online menu that has pictures of everything so you know exactly what you're getting. Stay away from the fettuccine alfredo, but that's just my opinion. Personally, me, it's not that good, and a lot of people do send it back. Again, if you have any questions on anything, let me know, and I can definitely give you my full honest opinion to help you narrow down those options. Do you see how much that ate? Do you see how much that ate? Thank you. If they have been there, then I'm like, okay, perfect. If you have any questions on anything, let me know. And I still throw in that visual aspect. I'm like, just letting you know as well, if you're more of a visual person, I always recommend looking at the online menu that has pictures of everything. So when I'm, telling people straight up, I sound like I know what I'm talking about. And then when they're like, what would you think? I'm like, okay, well, what are you feeling? Are you feeling burgers, pastas, salmon, red meat? Like, what are you looking for? If they're like pastas, I'm like, okay, perfect. Did you want marinara or did you want Alfredo? Did you want more in the middle? They're like, probably around like an Alfredo base. Okay, perfect. So something that I would probably recommend if you do like garlic is probably the farfalle that has chicken in it. It is kind of like an Alfredo base, but it's more garlicky. Or I'd also recommend the Italian mushroom sausage rigatoni that has an Alfredo base as well. And that comes with the sausage, rigatoni, mushrooms, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So you see how like when I'm talking about it just to the camera alone, I sound like I know what I'm talking about. And that is why you should study, low key. You should study the menu, because not only does that help with upselling, but it also helps with tour guiding your table. If your table's going back and forth between, I don't know if I want this or this, ask some questions. Well, what kind of mood are you feeling? Are you typically more of this? Are you like, it helps them be like, oh, okay, like she actually cares with how I choose like what I want. So that's probably what I recommend. You don't have to necessarily know everything like right away. No one's expecting you to know everything right away, but it is good to study up on the menu. Granted, where I'm going now, the menu is a lot smaller, but there's a lot more descriptive things that we have to tell the table. So I think also with that aspect, with coming from Cheesecake, knowing all that information, having all of that prior knowledge will help me when it comes to pitching and trying to upsell. And like I said, if you know how to upsell, your tips will be better. Tip number 3. I should probably be like saying this is tip 1, tip 2, whatever. Tip number 3. Delegate and time manage. I can't say this enough. Some people don't know how to compartmentalize whatever the fuck the word is. They don't know how to do that in their head. I'm gonna help you out with that. Say you just got triple fucking sat. You are slammed, you are busy. This is what you do. This is what I do personally. I go up to all my tables, I go, I'll be with you in just a minute, I'll be with you in just a minute, I'll be with you in just a minute. If I have a little bit more time, like if they've all gotten sat at the same, like exact same time, I go, hello, I'm Reese, I'm gonna be taking care of y'all. I'm gonna be doing just a really quick greet. Is there any drinks besides water I can get started for you? You see how I just get their drinks out of the way instead of going back, getting waters, coming back, like all that stuff. Personally, for me, I always pre-water my tables. You're not gonna make me do 2 trips going back and forth with you being like, water, bitch, it's already here. There you go. I know a lot of the time some restaurants don't like when you pre-water, but I'm a water drinker, and if I want something else, I will let you know. But most of the times when I'm sitting down at a restaurant, give me my water right away. A bitch is thirsty. So that's what you kind of have to think about when it comes to how long has your table been sitting there, how long are they going to be sitting there, and how long does it take everything to prep. With me talking about like any serving experience, I'm obviously going to be relating back to Cheesecake Factory since I'm still in training at my new job. But in this sense, Cheesecake Factory is, we offer bread. So I know there's new rules, all that stuff. We're not supposed to pre-bread. I don't give a fuck. If I have the time, I'm going to just drop the bread at your table. If you're gluten-free, cool, I'll take the bread back. But with me, it's like, save yourself time. Do not go one table, go back and do what they need. Another table, go back. You are wasting so much time. Go to each and every single one of your tables. I call it rounding. Do rounds on your table. If table 3, 4, and 5, if they need ketchup, mayo, and another drink, ring in their drink first. Go to the back, get the ketchup and the mayo. Come back to the table. I'll be right with you. I'm gonna go check on that drink for you. Always, always, always tell them what you're doing. I'm gonna go check on that drink for you, because then they know that you actually care. Then you go get the drink, boom, you're done. Now you're sitting around waiting, seeing if any of your other tables need anything. That is what I mean. Delegate and compartmentalize. Stop making things more difficult for yourself by trying to do 5 different tasks when you can get all of the tasks that you need to do and do them in the back and finish them in less time. All right, tip number 4, use your personality and banter with your guests. Learn how to not only read your guests, which we'll be talking about a little bit later, but learn how to banter. Y'all, I love a good banter, and people love it. Like I be playing with my tables, dead ass. Like especially at Cheesecake Factory, like I'm not sure about, my new job, because this is definitely like different clientele, but like I said, being able to know how to like read your guests and being able to be like, yeah, I can like play around with you a little bit today. When I say use your personality, in the beginning, of course I was new. Of course I didn't know everything on the menu, so I was still very stiff, very robotic. As soon as I started showing my personality, money started pouring in. And then I also started having more fun with my job because I'm myself. Be yourself. There is no point in trying to be a robot. People already go out, they want low-key entertainment. Let's be real. If you go out to a restaurant and you have a really good server, they make the service even more better. All of a sudden your food tastes even better. So that's what I mean, like be the best server that you can, because at that point it will make people want to come back. It will allow people to request you as their regular instead of just being any other regular server. They could be like, oh, we want Reese, she made us laugh last time. Or even like I have regulars at Cheesecake Factory and they will specifically request me. When people specifically request me, not only am I good at remembering what the table got, but I'm gonna be like, hey, and then I could be like, oh, are you gonna try that again, or you want to try something new? Like, so it's kind of like that little banter. Show your personality, especially if they're reciprocating with you. Do it. Another thing, another goal, if there's a mean person at the table, try to make them smile. Like that is sometimes my goal. If somebody comes up and they're all grumpy and all that stuff, I usually like break the ice in some type of way and be like, what did they do? Who do I need to talk to? What's wrong? What's wrong? Come on, you can tell me, I promise. And they think it's funny. Like they are like, oh, like not only are you acknowledging their feelings, but you're also trying to like make them laugh, but also like be serious by like, what's wrong? Like tell me what's wrong. But you can be like, what's wrong? Tell me. Come on. I know you. We can't continue unless you tell me what's wrong, because I'm here to help you. I'm here to, you know what I mean? Like I'm here to make you feel better. Like do anything to basically eat their ass, okay? Like form a connection, but still like be funny, be yourself, but eat their ass at the same time. Y'all are like, eat their ass. When I say eat their ass, I mean like be so fucking nice that they can't write not one negative review about you. Like, and that's me. I may be a bitch to some of my coworkers and some of my managers, but my guests will never complain about me. Thank you. All right, like I just said about reading your tables, this is tip number 5. Read your tables. If your table is a group of women who haven't seen each other in fucking 2 years, mind you, they're going to sit at your table for probably 5 hours. We call them campers. Know the different names of your tables. So if there's a camper, camper, if there's a grumpy old woman, if there's, you know, people who didn't tip you. Like, there are different names for different people that come in the restaurant, and anyone who works in a restaurant knows that. And just know that you are also very easily identifiable. Y'all, why am I so light? I should have had it like that. Sorry about the lighting change, y'all. I was a little too light-skinned, okay? I set my settings just down one more because I was a little too light. I wasn't liking it. But yeah, just like know how to read your tables. If your tables have already got their drinks, their appetizers, their food, all that stuff, but they look like they're deep in conversation, don't bother them. Like, I be leaving my tables alone. Of course, I do the like non-verbal and like silent, I guess, service. That's what they call it at my new job. Silent service or non-verbal, where it's basically like you fill up their waters without asking. You take any plates out the way that they're not using. It's those little things that, like, you know that they're sitting there, but it makes it easier for not only the bussers but you when they finally fucking get up and you can flip the table. Then all that stuff that was on the table is already gone. All their big plates, all of whatever. Take it out the way to make the table be able to be cleaned as soon as possible when they get up. Again, tip number 6. This is similar to 4 and 5, but like I said, know how to classify your tables. Are these campers? Are these long lost friends? Are these, like, you know what I mean? Like, is it a mean man? Is it a party where the dad is paying for everything? Like, in that aspect, you know how to interact with the tables and do your job better, essentially. And I'm gonna say this, even leading into number 7, sometimes you're gonna have to read certain races. And I know, you're like, that's racist, Reese, we can't do that. But you can. But you can. Because I just recently saw this thing where it was like, stereotypes are earned, not given. So by saying that, it's like, there has to be a same group of people doing these things multiple times in order for you to get that classification. Obviously, a lot of it is racism, but you know what I mean. Some of y'all black people be acting a damn fool in the restaurant, and it be pissing me off because I know I'm not gonna get a fucking tip off of you. Leading into number 7, it is okay to stereotype sometimes. I know this is controversial. Don't come for me. I know this is controversial, but when I say it's okay to stereotype your tables, I mean, hear me out. If you know something is not good on the menu, do not give it to a black person. I fucking promise you. Ask them, have you had that before? No. I'm telling you straight the fuck up. If somebody gets a dish that I know that isn't good, aka the steak frites or whatever the fuck, however you say it, fettuccine alfredo, even the carbonara is a little bit plain. What other dish gets sent back a lot? Like truffle honey chicken, I don't like that. Like, there are certain dishes that if I know they're not good, or I know they get sent back and they're like, oh, can I get that before? Have you had that before? No. And they're like, what? And I'm like, sorry, no, it's not good. They're like, oh my God, thank you so much. Yes. So that's what I mean. Like, if you know a black person's about to complain about their food, do not recommend them something that you know gets sent back a lot. Please. When it comes to Indian people, they love to share their food. Most of the times, they are vegetarian. Therefore, they're gonna get like cheese pizzas, avocado egg rolls, different dishes, obviously, that have no meat. Then you're gonna have to grab them, share plates as well. They also don't drink and they don't like pork. I'm not saying that's all Indians, but that's a majority of them. Asian people as well. Asian people do tend to, it's like 50-50. I've seen some do family style, some don't. Then on top of that, when it comes to tipping, if I know, like, there's certain black people that I can read, if you're being difficult to the fucking max and I'm still doing everything to accommodate you, I know you're not gonna tip me. There are just some like feelings that I get where I'm like, this person's not gonna tip me. But even though they're not gonna tip me, I'm still gonna give them the best fucking service ever. Because at the end of the day, my other tables are going to see that you're gonna tip me. Except, I have a story. Hold on. So this is also what I mean by it's very important that you remember faces, because there have been times where people are like, oh my God, I remember having you. I totally forgot their faces. Mind you, I'm a server. Do you know how many people I see in a day? This is why I say it's important to remember who your tables were, because there have been times where I've gotten sat this one teenage couple, and this is like one of the only exceptions that I will act like this, is because they don't fucking tip. I already knew what they fucking wanted. I already knew what drinks they wanted. I put their stuff in and I left them alone. I said, food good? Cool. Cause they're teenagers. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. If you're gonna come in here and spend $120 and tip me $10, don't expect good service. What the fuck? What do you want me to do and what do you want me to say? You did not give me the money, therefore I'm not going to treat you good. And that was the first time. The first time I ever had these people, I treated them damn good. Then when they got sat in the exact same spot that they were last time, I said, I already know how I'm gonna treat y'all. I cared about every other table but them. They were the last on my fucking roster. And I only say it's okay to do that if you remember their faces and if you know that they're not gonna tip. Because at the end of the day, why are you coming into a restaurant if you're not gonna fucking tip your server? Take that shit to go and go somewhere with that shit. Cause I'm not doing it. I'm not. So obviously I don't treat everyone like that. But if I know, like if I've had you twice in a row and I know that you don't tip, don't expect superior service. The fuck? With tip number 7, like I said, obviously it sounds bad, but yes, sometimes it is okay to stereotype. Why? Because what the fuck? If I know that a black person's gonna complain about their food, I'm not gonna recommend that dish. If I know that an Indian family is coming in, I know that they want no ice in their water, vegetarian, family style. Like, do you know what I mean? Sometimes stereotypes are a good thing because that's how I become a better server. Thank you. All right, tip number 8, learn how to tour guide. This is kind of tying in everything that I've talked about before, but more specifically relating it to number 2, where it's know what you're talking about. Obviously not everyone's expecting you to know right away, but know what you're talking about so you're easily able to sell people on stuff and upsell. Y'all want to know how to make money? Money doesn't come just from my personality, of course, but it also comes from being able to upsell. So instead of being like, all right, are you guys good on cheesecake? Or I always go, were we thinking of any cheesecakes for here or to go? You give them the option. Oh, I'm too full. Who said you have to eat it here? That's what I be doing. They're like, no, I'm too full. I don't think so. I'm like, so you don't want a sweet treat later on? What happens when you get home and you're kicking back and you're watching TV and you're full, but then you want something sweet? You're gonna be mad that you didn't listen to me because I said you didn't have to eat it here. You can take it to go. So this also ties in, like I said, I'm going a little bit off guard, but this also ties into like reading your tables. If your table did not eat all their food, they're most likely not gonna eat all their dessert. Therefore, instead of being like, oh yeah, we want it for here, I always say, I can put it in a to-go box. You can eat a couple bites and then take the rest if you don't finish it. And people are like, yeah, we'll do that. So that's what I mean. In terms of tour guiding, like I said, when it comes to upselling, if you know what you're talking about and you properly like guide someone towards a food item that you think that they would like, then you're gonna get a good tip. Because then it's like, I also make a joke where it's like somebody asks for my recommendation and I'm like, I give them the recommendation. They're like, okay, I'll try it. I'm like, you're gonna trust me? And they're like, yeah, I'll trust you. I'm like, okay, but you gotta be honest with me. You gotta tell me if you like it or not. So that's kind of like another way of like bantering with your tables while tour guiding. You can be like, oh, you trust me, like So then when it does come out and they do like it, I'll be like, see, I told you could trust me. And then it already is that banter. You're building that relationship and they're like, wow, like she's a really good server. And like I said so many times, be honest. Be honest. I saw this one thing where it was like, if you go somewhere and you have a black server, just know that she's gonna be honest about any dish. Yes, that's why I be telling people, if you haven't had the fettuccine before, do not order it. That dish gets sent back so much. Cheesecake Factory, if you're watching, please revise your fucking fettuccine Alfredo, because what the fuck is that? At least the one at my location sucks ass. It's not good. Like, stop. So I tell people straight up, no, you're not ordering the chicken Alfredo if it's your first time here. They're like, oh my god, that's what I was gonna order. Pick something else. And then I'll make a joke. I'm like, we have way too many menu items for you to only want the chicken Alfredo. I promise you that you will find something else that you like. Just saying. But like I've been saying, if you know something gets sent back, if you don't like it, or if you think like that person's not gonna like it, don't recommend it. Tell them, actually, I would probably go for this instead. And in that way, you can try to upsell, add extra protein, do all those extra, things to get a little bit extra money. I'm not even gonna lie. Today, when we were doing like toast training, if you don't know toast, it's like the handheld device that majority of servers like use. At Cheesecake Factory, we don't. We have just posi systems because there are so many menu items, people would be struggling to try to find it, sitting in front of a table trying to put their order in. No. So at Cheesecake Factory, we write everything down and then we go to the computer and put it in, which is what I'm used to. At my other job, it's all on toast, which obviously they have a smaller menu. It's more accessible that way. But like, obviously I'm not going to be standing at the table for a while. So it's easier to just be like, oh yeah, like, did you want that? Did you want that? Just letting you know that So that's what I just mean by like being able to help your table tour guide on what you think that they would like. They will appreciate you so much more because you help them not only get a good dish, but they trusted you. And on top of that, it'll add to your tip. I promise. All right, y'all, we are on the last 2 tips. Okay. This has been a long video, but hopefully y'all are still here because these are actually very valuable tips. Like if I was trying to get a serving job, I would watch this video and be like, damn, those are good tips. Thank you. Okay. Tip number 9, table maintenance. A lot of you servers, and this is what they be talking about y'all and using y'all as an example because they will never use me as an example when it comes to this. I even joke with my tables. Yes, I'm harassing you because I have nothing else to do. Like I just make sure I check in on my tables a lot. You never know if somebody needs a ranch, a ketchup, whatever, something simple and little from the kitchen. You never know. Stop taking their order and running to the back and going and hitting your fucking vape. Go and stay on the floor. When I tell you too, this is gonna sound so random and not connecting at all, but as soon as I quit vaping, I was on the floor more because every single opportunity I would take when I had a little free time, I would run and hit my vape. But ever since I quit, I'm like, damn, there ain't shit to fucking do. There ain't shit to do. So that's what I mean. It's like, be attentive with your tables. Like check in on them, pre-bus your tables, fill their waters. When you start seeing that water or that pop get halfway full, you better ask, did you want a refill? If this is their second or third refill, go up and still ask them, did you want a refill when that food comes out? out, because if you're busy and they can't hunt you down, you already know in your head that when that food comes out, when you see that food hit the table, grab their drink and go fill it up. Bring it back and be able to do everything else for your other tables. There have been times, I'm telling y'all, where I've had 7-8 tables by myself at Cheesecake Factory on the patio. It gets crazy, it gets busy. But that is also where I'm talking about, what tip was it? Like 4 or something? Learn how to delegate and compartmentalize. Learn how to take everything, be like, okay, I gotta do this, this, and this, and this. Make it easier for yourself. Stop making it harder than it needs to be. Adding on to that tip, make sure that your table doesn't have the opportunity to look for you or ask another server for anything. There have been times where some servers are just chilling at the back of the line while their table is asking 4 or 5 other fucking servers to do stuff for them. Instead, if you're being attentive, if you're always in your section and you're always, you know, making sure that your table's okay, you can go up to them as soon as an issue arises and get the issue dealt with. Instead of them looking for you, asking a busser, can I get boxes? Can I get an extra butter? Can I get more ketchup? And I know a lot of the times in the service industry, you'd be like, bitch, you're not my table, what the fuck? But usually at Cheesecake Factory, I'm like, all right, cool. If they ask me and I go back and I see that their server isn't doing shit at the back of the line, I will tell them, your table this wants this. They will go get it for them. I'm not gonna do that because yes, I'm not your server, but I could still do it until I find your server and have them do it because that's your table. I hate when people act like I'm not willing to help the table. I'm always willing to help the table, but I can still let your server know, because where's your server that they're not checking in on you to make sure that you have everything you need? You know what I mean? Don't be one of those people who disappear and your table can't find you. I know a lot of the times, like I was talking about earlier, the food can be trash, the drinks can be trash, but your service can be amazing. Which one is going to make up for your tip? The service, bitch. The service. People can complain and be like, that was the worst food I've ever had, but the service was good. So you're still gonna make your tip either way, no matter if the food was bad, if the drinks took long, whatever, you're still gonna make your tip. And the last tip that I have, I know this video is long, we're dragging on, but stay with me, bear with me. Learn how to budget fast money. It be pissing me off because you bitches be having more fast money jobs than me, making thousands and thousands of dollars in a week, or even you can make $1,000 in a day. But then y'all go and blow all the shit. Learn how to budget fast money, especially with the job that I'm coming up. Unfortunately, I'm so pissed about this, but it's okay. I don't get to take my tips home at the end of the night. They all go on a paycheck. So with that, I'm like, well, fuck. Because you know what I mean? Like being able to like count your money, like I'm a very like budget journal person. Like that's why I have my budget journal. But if I only get paid every fucking 2 weeks and all my tips are on there, yeah, I'm gonna have to wait. But also with me, I'm like, okay, maybe that is like somewhat of a good thing, because when it comes to paychecks or, you know, having to apply for a car, a loan, anything, you can show them, hey, like this is how much I actually make per paycheck, and it's like $3,000-$4,000. Like, so that's what I mean, where it's like, okay, learn how to budget fast money, put it in savings, put it in a Roth IRA. Learn how to save your money instead of feeling like, oh my God, I got all this money, I can just work another shift, it don't matter, I can do whatever I want. Because at the end of the day, if you haven't saved enough money, then you're gonna be in the hole. That's probably what I would recommend. If this is your first time making good money like this, like over $200 a night per shift, learn how to budget that money. Because when you wanna live on your own, when you wanna buy a car, like all this other stuff, just learn how to budget. Please, pay all of your bills first. All of them. Even if it's at the beginning of the month, if you got the money, Buki, just pay the bill. Because as time passes and you keep working, but you already paid all your bills, all that money is yours. So now you can properly allocate it. Okay, this amount is going towards savings and this is my spending money. Instead of going crazy and be like, woo, I can just pick up another shift, it doesn't matter. No, budget your money, Buki. And also don't allow lifestyle creep to creep up on your ass, because this is where I'm in the hole now. And I felt like, oh, I was making so much money, that I went and got a whole new car when I didn't fucking need it. And that's where I actually regret. Like when I say I regret giving up my car, my 2008 Nissan Sentra, I miss that car. I regret giving it up. If I could do anything to go back in time to not trade that car in or to not just give it up, I would. Why? Because this new car that I've gotten has given me every fucking issue. It is like, when I say go and pay a car fully in cash where you don't have a car payment, do not do what I did. Do not allow lifestyle creep to creep up on you, because now I'm stuck with a $450 car payment and the car keeps breaking down every 2 fucking months. Don't do that. If I had my Nissan, do you know how much money I've spent collectively in a year on this car? $3,000. That's how much. Do you know what I could have done, bought, and experienced with that fucking money? Instead of it going just towards a car payment, all towards fucking interest, I don't even know what I could have done with that money. I just would have had money. I would have been able to build a savings, but now I don't, because all my fucking money is going towards a car just because I want it to be like like everybody else and everybody has a nice car and this. No, don't allow lifestyle creep to creep up on you and feel like, okay, well, I'm serving now, I'm making $200 a night, I can go get a car payment that's $600 a month because I can make that in a weekend. Do not have that mindset, because you will be car poor, aka me right now. All my money goes towards my fucking car and it's so annoying, which is why I'm trying to get out of it. It sounds stupid, but even if I have to, roll over my negative equity into another car and pay that car off as quick as possible, I will do that. But whatever to get rid of this car, I will do it. Shit. That was my little rant about that. Okay, I think I've rambled and I think I've ranted a little too long, but genuinely, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. These were my top 10 tips when it comes to serving to get hired anywhere. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye, y'all.